Hey gamers, welcome back to Square One Games. My name is XONEVANT. We're here to continue our road to 1000 for Assassin's Creed 3. This is sequence 8.0 and we should be in episode 13. We're going to be doing a lot of map clearing again. We just had New York open up to us, so we're going to be doing some collections in there, some icon collections and such in there. I'm going to be doing that later. The first thing I want to do is go ahead and knock out the privateer contracts and the naval missions. Okay, so I just finished up my naval map clear, and it looks like that it seems like the privateer contracts were pretty straightforward. I didn't really feel like I needed to put those in a tutorial. However, if you are having problems with them, then let me know. Just send me a private message or a comment, and I'll be sure to respond as fast as I can, help you out with that. But now, in terms of the naval mission, which was called French Involvement, that was a little bit tricky. You're going to see some footage come up on the screen right now. The first part of this, really, you had to limit the damage taken by the Belladonna by 50%, and you also had to sink more enemies than the Belladonna. Basically, sinking 11 ships will do that for you. I didn't find that sinking the ships or protecting the Belladonna was that big of a deal. It's pretty cut and dry, kind of like what you've always done. Just remember that you use your swivel cannons a lot to take out the small ships, and then if they get past you or you're reloading your swivel cannon, then just switch to your big cannons and just keep going back and forth until they're all dead. I find that I can get more shots off with the swivel cannon than the big cannon, so use that to your advantage. Now when you get to the part where you have to kill the officer, it gets a little bit tricky. I finally figured out that it's better just to shoot him. It takes like 5 shots or so, and you basically just want to keep inching forward using your left thumbstick so that you don't cause him to run away. And you know, when he glows white, just shoot him and then reload. If he backs up, like if he's not white, just inch forward again, continue to shoot. Okay, so once you're done with all of the naval missions and the privateer contracts and so forth, what I like to do is head on into Boston. And if you come right here where this naval icon is, where the fast travel point is, just head to the left. There should be like an E, one of these symbols right here on your map. That's one of the general stores. I like to go ahead and head in there and buy some smoke bombs, and that's because I'm going to start cleaning up some of my, I'll show you right here, I'm going to start cleaning up some of my logbook prior to going into New York. And that's just how I like to play. I like to make sure that before I go into a new area that I've got as much stuff as I can get done kind of already completed before I move on. So like for instance, Boston Brawlers, I need to kill 5 enemies with the smoke bomb within 10 seconds, so I'm gonna go ahead and buy the smoke bombs, etc. Obviously I can't do the sailor yet because I'm not in New York, but that way when I go to New York and I talk to the sailor, well, that's already done. You see what I mean? And you can keep doing that like all the way down. Like I know I can get all of these out right now, capture 20 animals with snares, so forth and so on. So I'm going to be knocking out as much stuff as I can get done within these criteria right here prior to moving on to the next mission. So it's up to you how you want to play it out, but that's kind of how I'm going to do it, especially with these liberation missions. See how it says free a civilian held captive by the thugs, 2 or 3. Now I don't see anything on my mini-map, but I'm going to go ahead and see if I can find that third one. I'm just going to go into the district and run around for a while and see if I can find that third one, because I want to get those rewards. I want to get my new recruit, I want to get lower trading risk, and I want to get the North Boston chest key, things like that. And then what I'll do is when I come back, I'll show you kind of what I was able to accomplish and kind of what I wasn't able to accomplish, and then we can kind of catch up. The first thing I did was went ahead and knocked out my Boston Brawlers challenges. I made it all the way to Brawler Challenge 3, and you saw me before the cut getting my smoke bombs, talking about that. Went ahead and cleared that list out. Eventually got to this list, and the only one that I really honestly had problems with was the one that says disarm and kill 10 Jaegers with their own weapons. And the only reason why that was a little bit of issue is because I couldn't really find any Jaegers. So what I eventually did with the strategy that I created was just basically become notorious, get in a fight with a bunch of redcoats, kill them all, and eventually the Jaegers will start spawning in, and they'll start spawning in like 2 to 4 at a time. And when they do, obviously just disarm them by hitting B, counter them, and take them out. And you shouldn't have any problems getting through that particular part of your challenge. Now the bullet point that says own every weapon available in the stores, well, obviously that one, I can't do that one yet because we don't have enough money and there's still game to play. So at this point, you know, based on how you've been playing and what you've been doing, there's no way for me to tell whether you have all the weapons available to you or not versus what I have. So I'm going to be covering that one in another video. So that's the only one that I don't have done for the Brawlers challenges. So let's go ahead and talk about the liberation missions. Okay, so I went ahead and finished out my liberation missions. What you're going to have to do is basically search the whole area and find any of the like the bullet points that you don't currently have. Like if you have something that says like 2 out of 3 or something like that, you're gonna have to find that, and it doesn't show up on your big map, and I'm not really sure why, but it doesn't. At least it didn't on mine. So what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to run around the maps and basically look for whatever it is you need to find by basically hunting it for yourself. Now it is gonna show up in your mini map as an icon once you get close enough. So what I like to do is I like to just come up here, set me a custom marker, and then work myself around the perimeter of the map, right? Just keep setting markers, run to it, keep setting markers, run to it. And then when you're done searching the perimeter, you basically set one and then you run the length of the district, right down through the middle. And between all of those, you're going to be able to find whatever it is that you're missing. And you just do that for all the districts. Like here, you know, you would just, you know, put them around the edges like this, right? And then cut you one through the middle, maybe cut one back through here, and that way you can find it. It didn't take me long to find them at all. So it seems longer than what it is, but it didn't take me a long time at all. And then by doing that, I was able to get out all 3 of my assassins. Duncan, obviously we already had, I call him Steven, and then we also picked up Clipper. So by the time you finish liberating all 3 of these districts, you will have all 3 of your assassins. So the next thing that you want to start working on is making one of those an assassin. Remember, we still have the unlock Magna Cum Laude that we're working on, which is basically let one of your assassins or let one of your recruits reach the assassin rank. Now, it's not going to pop for quite a while, right? Let me go ahead and show you what I mean. Go ahead and go into my assassin. Now, I've actually been doing this for a while, right? So I've done 58 missions, etc. But all of my people are actually assassins right now. Let me just pick a mission here and show you. So I've got Steven as an assassin. He's an assassin and he's an assassin. So it takes 1100, not 1100 experience, but it takes them getting to level 11 before they will become an assassin. And I'm going to be showing some footage up on screen where the unlock pops. Now the unlock's going to pop for you different in the place that it popped for me, right? Because it just depends on how well you're sending them out. But I wanted to make sure that all of my recruits were assassins, and they were pretty much, you know, 100% before I went into New York, because I know that I'm going to be picking up 3 more assassins, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be pairing my strong guy, or I'm sorry, picking up 3 more recruits. I'm going to be pairing my strong assassin with one of my new recruits and sending them on missions together, so that my new recruits can become assassins even faster. You can see that I've also been able to clear a pretty big chunk of my map up. All these sections in blue are completely liberated, so I don't have too much left. Now obviously this took me quite a while, but for you, really the main focus is just getting that unlock Magna Cum Laude so you can get that behind you and get it taken care of. And that should pop for you at some point before you finish sequence 8 if you're following this guy. Okay, so let's back out of here. Let me show you what I'm talking about with the treasure chest. Now on your particular logbook, you're probably going to have inside of your collectibles, I only have the trinkets left for New York, which obviously I haven't been there yet. You're probably going to have one treasure chest that you're missing if you've been following this particular guide. When you bought the map, if you did that back in the previous sequence, then you know that it shows up all the treasure chests. Well, it does all but one. And the reason why it doesn't is because you have to liberate all of the different districts before that last one shows up. And let me show you what I mean by that. If you go into your liberation missions kind of district right here in the center, there's going to be one icon over here to the right, this liberation contract. There's going to be another one that's right here. I'm going to be showing you some footage on the screen right now. If you go to this one, as soon as you walk inside of that door, there's going to be a treasure chest right above you. So all you got to do is just head upstairs and grab that treasure chest, and then all of your logbook should be clean when it comes to your collectibles, except for the trinkets for New York, if you've been following this particular guide. So I just wanted to clear that up for you as well. And that's pretty much all that there is to do in Boston. So let's go ahead and talk about the, let's go ahead and head to the homestead. Okay, so the first thing you want to do when you get to the homestead is head to the manor. Go ahead and talk to Achilles. We're going to again open up the Encyclopedia of the Common Man. Remember, that's also an unlock that we're going to be working on. But the reason why you want to do that now is because not only are you going to be able to start working on the unlock while you're kind of map clearing a little bit more with the homestead and the frontier, but you're going to be opening up more homestead missions, which is kind of the point of talking to Achilles. So you want to go ahead and talk to him and open that up, and then he's going to move to another room, like kind of adjacent or kind of behind you. Go ahead and talk to him again, and that's going to open up one of the new homestead missions. You want to just keep completing all those missions, and I'll go over them with you at the end of the video. But just complete each homestead mission as the icons show up on your mini map, and just keep doing that until there's none left. And when there's none left, that's going to mean that all of the people that you've basically talked to or that you've helped will now be in the homestead, in the areas right here, and there's going to be the girl with the gun that likes to go hunting. She's up here. So these are like your big hot spots, kind of in these areas where all the people are kind of populated right now. They're filling up the homestead. Pretty much if you zoom in like that, you can see the different houses and stuff. That's pretty much where people are. And that's when you're going to be able to tell, you know, where they are and everything. So as you're doing the Encyclopedia of the Common Man, all you have to do, once they're all there, is make sure it's like the daytime. Most of the people are out working during the day. And the way that you complete Encyclopedia of the Common Man is you have to go up to all the people that you've basically you know, brought to the homestead in one form or fashion or the other, and you have to watch them work. And it's different for everybody. You know, there's one guy, the doctor, once you get him into the homestead, he likes to read books. You've got one guy who he's like your wood maker. He likes to, you know, look at fences and stuff like that because he's measuring and all that kind of stuff. So you're basically just watching them do whatever it is that they are good at. And you're not going to be able to get them all, at least at this point, but you're going to be running back and forth between the homestead and the frontier, doing a lot of different challenges for your hunting society challenges. Okay, so after you've done some work with the Encyclopedia of the Common Man, you've done all your all the little homestead missions and all that good stuff, you want to go ahead and knock out the unlock, which is called Original Gamer. It's win a game of, I think it's called Fenora or Fonarona, Morris, and Bowles in the homestead. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about, I think it's called Fonarona, I guess. Always bet the minimum limit, just especially while you're practicing. By the way, this game can be found in the manor. You want to always pick to go first. And you always want to move your first piece where you saw me move mine. He's always going to take those 3 pieces from you. Now, let me go ahead and say this. This whole game is on a pattern. Everything is on a pattern. So if he starts to display a pattern that's different than what I'm showing you, go ahead and exit out and keep going until he does exactly what he does in my game. It will happen for you. It's about a 60% chance. I always move the same pieces every time. My first move, he always counters by taking my first 3 pieces. I do this move right here that you just saw me do. He's going to always move this piece that I'm about to show you. Now, sometimes he moves it to the left. Sometimes he moves it down, and then he does like this crazy combo on you. You want him to do down 1, over 1. If he doesn't do that, then exit out. You lose 10 bucks, whatever. Keep doing it until he goes down 1, over 1. And then you want to make the move that I'm about to make right now. Because remember, this is on expert, so you really have to be careful. I've tested it time and time again. I spent about 4 hours testing out different theories, strategies, until I found one that worked pretty much all the time, as long as he makes the moves that I'm showing you in this. And then he's always going to move this other piece. Now, sometimes he moves it diagonally. Sometimes he moves it up like he just did there. You want him to move it up. You can beat him if he moves it diagonal, but I don't have time to show you that in the video. Just make sure that he moves it up, and you can pretty much take him out. I'm pretty much able to beat him when you really look at this video in 3 major moves. Like you saw me already move, actually 4 major moves, and pretty much wipe out all of his pieces, and then it's pretty cut and dry from that moment on. Once you have him down to his last couple of pieces, you just want to play a lot of defense. You want to have him move into you. You see how I have all those pieces on the board, he only has 3. As long as he moves the same pieces that, well, he's always going to move the same pieces that you've seen him move in my game. It's just where he moves them. And if he doesn't move them where he moved them in my game, then you want to, like I said, just hit Y, exit out, and just keep doing it over and over and over again. That way you can do it really fast, and you're not just guessing. Now, you see him wipe out a bunch of my pieces, but it doesn't really matter because of where my pieces are positioned, which is why I wanted to show this strategy. Like I said, I spent about 3 or 4 hours trying to figure out what I thought would be the best strategy. And I'm not saying it's the best, but it works. You saw right there that even after he took all my pieces, I still had a piece that was able to take his piece. He's going to take 2 of my pieces right there, but look how I'm positioned, right? He can't move that top piece at all. If he moves that top piece, I'm going to take him out with the 2 pieces at the top. That's mine. So all I'm doing now is just putting myself in a position to where wherever he moves that bottom piece, I'll be able to take him out. And that's what you're seeing right now. So the top piece is completely locked off. You see how he moved it there? Now all I have to do is just move my piece back. Done and done. You see what I mean? So I had that piece completely locked off. And now he's pretty much got nowhere to go on his bottom piece. He's going to move there, obviously, because I've got a piece there and I can't take him out. So you're going to see how this plays out. But you're pretty much invulnerable at this point if you have this many pieces. You may have to sacrifice one, let one go. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a pretty easy task for you to take him out with only that piece. Now, I chose there to keep both of those pieces stationary so that he wouldn't be able to take one of my pieces. So I just used my other pieces kind of as like, not pawns because they didn't get taken out, but just to kind of fluff it up a little bit. And now I'm just making sure that I'm backing him over into this corner because I have that piece on the far right, and I know that I can use that as a blocker as well. And that's kind of what I'm doing right here. So that's it. So I pushed him out and won the match, and that takes care of Fauna on. Remember, you can find that in the manor, and let's go ahead and move on to the next game. Okay, so the next game is called 9 Men's Mars. You can find this basically after you're doing all your homestead missions and you're doing all your interactive conversations. You're eventually going to run across these innkeepers who are selling stuff on the street. You pay them $1,000, they open up an inn, and you can find this game inside. Now, this game is also on a pattern. And so if you follow the pattern that I'm showing you right here, he's always going to place his pieces, I guess, strategically based around where I put mine is what I'm trying to say. So if you follow this pattern, you should be okay. There may be some deviations when you get later on into the round because he's able to move he's able to do these weird moves because you are playing on expert. That can't really be predicted, but these initial moves can be predicted. And you want to set it up just like I'm setting it up. You want to take out the same pieces that you see me taking out. I spent about an hour and a half testing this strategy out, and it seemed to be pretty sound and, really good actually, because I'm able to duplicate it a bunch. So it may not work out for you 100% of the time, right, because you are playing against the computer, but, 80–90% of the time this is going to work as long as you place the pieces exactly where you see me place mine. He's probably going to be placing his exactly where you see him placed in the video, and you can go ahead and get to this fairly easily. Now, what's going to happen here in a second is I'm going to show you some of the crazy moves that he can do. And these, after I tested it, were unpredictable. But you're going to have such a huge advantage over him by that point that you should be able to kind of figure it out for yourself if it does deviate from the video. But you can see that I have 3 pieces on the left, and that's going to come into play a little bit later on. And you can kind of see, I'm just showing you there kind of where everything is laid out. And we can watch this game kind of play out here. Everybody's pretty much blocked right now. Like everybody's pretty blocked in. Like I can't really do anything offensively because of where he's placed his pieces. But I'm going to show you how we open this thing up here in just a second. You see I'm moving my piece kind of around the board there. That's kind of strategic. And remember, you just want to follow that as well. And I'll kind of show you how this thing plays out. So he moves. Now watch what I do here. Show you this. I'm trying to put all of his pieces on the outside of the board. So when he moved out, I moved in. You see that? And now I have 2 white pieces on the right, 2 white pieces on the left. You can see what I'm going to do here. Now I'm blocking him out. You see that bottom left piece? It's completely blocked. Now he's going to move it there and get his 3. But watch this. I'm going to move back and get my 3 in a row. And then I'm going to take him out of his ability to get 3 more. You see what I mean? Now he can't get 3 across the top. His only offensive play right now is the 3 across the bottom. But I'm going to have him so locked out that he's not going to be able to accomplish it, because all I'm going to do is move that piece and box him in. Now none of his pieces are in play. You see what I mean? He can't get any 3 of his pieces in a row at all. And I pretty much got him exactly, you know, where I want him at this point. So I'm going to show you here what I do. You can see here that I'm just going to move that piece over and then move it right back. And that's the whole key to this entire strategy, is that left-hand side over there being really the offensive play that you keep going to and going to and going to over and over and over again. And I'm going to keep taking out pieces that may end up blocking me. You see, like I took that piece out because it has the ability to box me in. And now he's trying to move that piece so that he can box me in. But that's going to be something else that I take out. Now I'm going to show you here in a second. He starts doing some absolutely crazy moves, and I don't know if I just missed this in the manual, like, you know, how you can read the rules. But he starts doing some crazy moves, man. But like I said, you're going to be so far ahead at this point that it's not going to matter whether or not he does the crazy moves, because it's very easy to overcome. You can see now that I'm just moving back and forth, again, just trying to play offensive and just taking out his pieces. And you can pretty much choose which ones you want to take out. I mean, I'm not being too picky at this point which ones I take out. And maybe if I would have been, maybe the game would have played out a little bit differently. But I'm just taking out pieces. You know, I'm feeling pretty confident at this point that I've got the game in the bag. And then he starts pulling out the crazy moves on me, and I have to kind of adjust a little bit. But for the most part, you know, I had control of the game. You know, 90% of the game was strategy. The other 10% just came into play as I just kind of, you know, winged it. I said, okay, he's making these weird moves. What can I do? And you'll see that here in a second. So again, I'm just moving back and forth with the same piece. And like I said, this part of the match may not play out exactly the way that you see how he moved the cross right there. I wasn't expecting that. I was like, what did he just do? So now I'm worried about him doing that same strategy that I was doing. I'm worried about him taking his top left piece and moving it to the right, but then he does that crazy move. And I'm like, what? So now I'm afraid that he's going to move back to the spot that he just was, right, and try to pull his 3. So I move my piece over to counter just to make sure he can't do that, right, because I don't want him getting 3 pieces in a row. And that was really the thing that kind of turned the tide, because now it's impossible for him to line up 3 pieces just because of where his pieces are, even with the crazy moves. And so now I'm just trying to figure out what I can do to get myself 3 pieces again. And I noticed that I have 3 pieces. I have more pieces in the bottom middle of the map than he does another block. So I'm like, oh my God, what is this cat doing? I still don't know how he makes these moves. And I think here in the game you can see me trying to make those moves. I'm like, can I move to other positions on this board? And you can see that I can't. So I don't know if it's just because he has 3 pieces left, and that pretty much gives him the ability to move kind of, you know, adjacent or kind of around the board. But I was still able to take him out. You see I got 2 pieces in a row right now. And watch this, he's going to block again. So I don't know if you're just able to move in like that triangle pattern or not. So again, here's me trying to go, man, I wonder if I can move in a triangle pattern. But for whatever reason I couldn't. So I'm just still trying to figure him out at this point. But you can see that there's pretty much no way that he can mount an offense I'm just trying to figure out in my mind how he's able to make these moves, and eventually you can see the light bulb go off, and I'm able to get my 3 pieces in a row. See, I know right now that he can move that his bottom left piece to the piece that I just moved my piece to, so I moved my piece there to block him. So I know now that he can't move there anymore, and now it's just a matter of getting 3 in a row. And once I get 3 in a row, I'll show you how easy it is to finish this thing out. There's my 3. Anyway, that's in the end. Once you unlock that, just pay him $1,000, and let's go ahead and move on to bowls. Okay, so the last game you're going to need to play is called Bowls. You get this from basically doing the Godfrey and Terry like homestead missions. Once you've helped them out, it's eventually going to open up for you. There's really nothing I can say about this in terms of it being on, like, you know, the other 2 games you could just basically watch the video and duplicate. This one, it's more of a finesse game. There's really not much I can tell you in terms of strategy. Just read your rules before it starts. I'm going to be explaining it to you right now as well. I find that if I play in the center right here, that I tend to do a little bit better. And I never use the, you know how you can adjust your aim by hitting B? I never use that. I always use the lob, and it tends to work out for me. Basically what happens is you're given 4 throws, and you're trying to get your ball to get closest to the red ball, and that's going to give you a point. You can also knock your opponent's ball out of the way, which obviously would put yours closer to the ball, and you get points. And it's just who has the most points at the end of each round, and it's basically 2 out of 3. It's kind of how it boils down. You can see there that I just got a point. He's going to toss his ball over, and he didn't get his close enough, so he didn't get any. Oh, I'm sorry, he did get it close enough. My bad. So he got a point. And now my job is to try to finesse my ball into that area and also try to get mine close to the red ball as I can. You can also hit LB to kind of zoom in if you want to get that pinpoint accuracy. And that little blue thing, that little blue radius that sinks in before you see me throw, if it's bigger, that means that your ball's going to have more bounce to it. Like it's going to have more action when it finally hits the ground. If it is small, that means that when it hits, it's going to have pretty much a dead roll. It's going to hit and maybe roll a little bit, but it's pretty much going to stop in its place. You can see now that I'm really pinned up, and I'm trying to place a shot in there where I can basically knock the red ball over to the right and knock his balls over to the left. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. So I gave it a little bit of action. You can see that when it hits, it's gonna knock his balls kind of out of the way, and that's gonna give me 2 points and pretty much give me the lead for that particular round. And now he's gonna get a chance to throw the red ball, and you're gonna see here some more strategy that I do. So it may look like you're just like tossing balls or whatever, but you really have to pay attention to where his ball is. You can see there that he's pretty far away. So my strategy is, well, I definitely want to make sure that my ball is close to the red ball, but I also want to try to put my ball in between the red ball and his ball. That's kind of what I'm trying to do now. So I'm trying to basically let it bounce a little bit and get behind the red ball. You can see there that my toss was a little bit too much, but you can see what I was trying to do there. So I'm gonna get the toss again. You can see me now. I'm pulling back, and I'm putting a little bit less sting on the ball, and that's gonna move the red ball out. Now I still wasn't able to accomplish what I was trying to do, but you're gonna still see it play out because for whatever reason he makes some bad tosses right here. I don't know if that's something that would happen in your game, but some terrible tosses. And I think it's because he likes to play deep into the little arena there, and all the balls are kind of backed up into the back of the arena. So I think he was just scared about tossing it back there, just because he was afraid he would knock his own ball out of the way. Now right here, what I'm going to do is a perfectly placed shot where I'm trying to put my ball just kind of in between everything. And you can see here it's a really good toss, and I'm able to get me some points. And I get one more toss, and I'm pretty much going to toss in the exact same spot. And that time I put a little bit too much sting on it, but watch, it still works out in my favor, because now I get 3 balls. So I kind of got lucky on the last toss, but I had the match won regardless. And once you play all 3 of those, you're going to get your Unlock Original Gamer. And let's go ahead and move on with the video. Okay, so after you've gotten the Unlock Original Gamer, go ahead and head back to your ship, the Aquila. And let's go ahead and talk to our main man here. And what you want to do is you want to head back to the frontier. The first thing I would tell you to do is come up here and go ahead and kill all these guards right here. Just make sure that they're all dead, because I don't know, they can be kind of aggravating, and sometimes they scare away the animals. They have a dog up there too that sometimes will bark, and I don't know, it just causes a lot of problems. So kill them all first, and what you can do is you can come over here. You see how it says analyze clue? You know, you can throw you some bait down, throw you a snare down, get animal kills that way. And here's a good hiding spot, and you can see right there is like 4 animals right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, right there. And there's also a 5th one right there. So like if you had to do your bow and arrow, right, there's 5 kills right there. I think you only got to do 15, and that'll be 5 skinned animals towards your 50. So things of that nature, right? There's going to be another thing here. You can throw down a snare and throw some bait down, and there's another spot right over here that you can throw a snare down, because you know you have that challenge where you have to you know, snare so many animals. And then I think there's even one where you have to snare animals while you put down bait, and that's a good place to do it. And when you put a snare down here with bait, you can actually run up here in these bushes and like get hidden. And when they come down to the shore to eat or to lay down, they'll usually come right through these bushes. And you can switch to your hidden blade, because I think there's one where you have to, like, here we go right here. You have to stealth assassinate 5 animals, and that's how you can do that, right? It's just do it from right there. So once you get to the last part of your challenges, it's going to open up a little bit trickier. Like, you're going to have the one where you have to skin 50 animals. There's also going to be one where you have to kill 5 animals, or air assassinate 5 animals via horseback. And look at there, there's a horse right there for you. Now eventually the animals are going to start like dying, and they're not going to be prevalent anymore. So what you want to do is just go back to the harbor master, which is right over here, and just warp back to, or fast travel back to the homestead, and then just come right back and just repeat, rinse and repeat. It did not take me long. Once I found this spot, it didn't take me long at all. But if you're planning on doing this while you're just running around the map, I don't know, it's just going to take you forever, in my opinion. So that's going to be that. And there's going to be one other challenge that's going to be a little bit tricky for you, and that's on your, I think it's on your 3rd set of your Hunting Society challenges. It's not on mine right now because I've already done it. But it's going to be basically to clear your map. Now the way that you clear your map is you go up here to where it says Hunting, which has got the little paw print right there. And you can see that the map is segregated into like green areas, green sections or whatever. And you can see that over there, like I'm in Valley Forge now, there's 4 animals. And you're basically trying to find all 4 animals in each different destination. And you have to do that in order to clear your map. And this could take you a good while, like depending on how you want to do it. The way that I like to clear areas is I would basically put down, let me get a good area right here. Like I would put down just like I did with liberating Boston. I'd put down a marker, put another one down, and keep traveling around the perimeter of the map, seeing how many I could find. And then when you finish going around the outside of the map, you just do you one right through the middle, maybe come back and do another one, right? And by the time you do that, you should be able to find all the animals that you're looking for. Now, I can tell you that the hardest ones to find are probably the beavers, because they're only going to be around water. So if you've done, like, if you've set your waypoints like this and you've went around the map and you've cut through the center, you still can't find it. If there's a water supply, kind of like what you see here, if there's a water supply, then basically just go on the bank and just keep running around the bank until you see the beaver, because typically it's going to be a beaver that's going to be there waiting on you. And that's basically the best way to do it. I never used a bait. You don't have to, well, you can basically find an animal 2 ways. You can kill an animal, and if you do and you haven't killed that animal in that area before, it'll turn up blue in the top right hand side of your map. It'll tell you like you have discovered elk in wherever. Or you can find a clue and search the clue. But you don't have to do both, meaning you don't have to find the clue and then kill the animal. You have to just do one or the other. Once it shows up in the top right hand corner over there, like you see right now I have 4 animals. Once it shows up there, you're good. Whether you killed them or search for a clue, doesn't matter. Now, one thing you're going to find is that when you clean out the frontier here, you're going to find that you're not going to get credit for your map clear. And that's because you also have to clear out the homestead. Okay, so once you made it back to the homestead, you can pull up your mini map, go to the paw print. You can see here that there's a lot of animals. There's 7 that you have to find. And if you do this one as well as the frontier, you'll be at 100%. Now I can give you a really good tip. Most of the animals are over here in this area right here where I'm marking right now. Just start your search kind of down here, and like I said, move your way up around the border, and you should find probably, I would say 5 or 6 of the animals are right in this area over here. You're going to also have to find a beaver, which remember those are typically the hardest ones to find. My suggestion would just be, because this is all water right here, is to just hug the water, keep going until you're able to flush it out. But it is around here. Just keep hugging the water and you'll be able to find it. And that's pretty much it. I mean, that should wrap up the hunting society for you and put you well on your way. Okay, and last but not least, you want to go ahead and get the unlocked Prince of Thieves, which is loot a convoy without killing any of its guards. It seemed that while I was running around doing all my hunting society, doing all my brawlers, just doing everything that I've been showing you throughout the video, that you're eventually going to come across the convoy. It's going to show up on your map. It's going to tell you to attack it. And what you want to do is just switch to your fist. And I'm showing you on the screen right now. Just switch to your fist. Run up behind them. You can usually stealth kill a pretty good amount of them before they even see you. Basically, all you're trying to do is kill all the guards without actually killing them, right? You want to knock them out with your fist. If you switch to the hidden blade or sword or an axe or anything like that and you kill them, then it's going to disqualify you from the unlock. You can still loot the convoy, but you won't get the unlock. So just make sure that you switch to your fist and take everybody out with the red circle over their head, and then hop into the back of the cart. Sometimes there's 2 carts, so make sure you do them both. But as soon as you're finished looting the convoy, whether it be 1 or 2, then the unlock is going to pop as soon as you hop out. And that's going to take care of the unlocked Prince of Thieves. Okay, so I know that was a lot to take in. This is a huge sequence, but I did want to go ahead and get us prepped for going into New York. And I do want to kind of show you, kind of, if you do everything that I've kind of explained to you, kind of where you should be at with your DNA tracker. I'm at 63% synced. Let's see, I'm at 10,924 points out of 17,070. Remember, these may not be exactly the same, mine and your game, but it should be around about that. You may have a higher score than me, I may have a higher score than you, but it should be a pretty good average. We still haven't officially started Sequence 8 yet, right? We haven't done the first mission. That'll come in Sequence 8.1. As far as side missions with the clubs, I'm at 100% Society, 100% Frontiersman, 100% Boston. I'm 32% complete with the Hunting Society task, 66% with the Frontiersman, 30% with the Boston Brawlers, and then 1 that I don't have yet. I fully liberated Boston, and basically what that breaks down to is liberating Boston and then having an assassin. So making Duncan Little an assassin, I've already done that, and then that just keeps going, right? There's 3 assassins and 3 liberation districts basically for that. I've done all of that. Obviously New York, we haven't been there yet, but that's going to be something that we work on when we get to New York. The almanacs, I'm still at 56%. All the rest of them are going to obviously be later on in the game. I've opened up all the chests that are available to me right now. And the feather collection, I'm 100%, and the peg leg trinkets, those are going to come in New York as well. I have as many of those as I can possibly have right now. Kids letters, I've done as much as I can do. Once we turn in more peg leg trinkets to peg leg, then we're going to be able to knock those 2 out. That's going to take care of that. I've liberated 5 of the forts. I'm expecting the other 2 to show up later on in the game. This is North Boston's underground, South Boston's underground, Central Boston's underground. We've done that. I've got a video up on that already. I still have to do all of New York's underground, which will come in its own sequence. later on in sequence, probably be like sequence 8 point. I don't know if it'll be sequence 8.2 or 8.1. Not really sure yet, but one of those. Let's see, the assassination contracts, I'm at 32%. Courier missions, I'm at 74%. Delivery request, I'm at 0%. Let's see, the chase, we've done all these in previous ones. Pretty much all of those are done, the naval missions except for one. And I'm 37% done with the Aquila as far as upgrading, just waiting on more cash. I don't plan on doing that one until I send out a bunch more assassins, because they usually bring back money pretty quick. And obviously we're going to be getting more chests as we get into New York. So with all that, we'll probably be able to knock that out soon. I've done all of these: Fort Walcott, Dead Chest Treasure, the Ghost Ship. I've pretty much done all of these that have been open to me to this point, the privateer contracts. We should be pretty even on those if you're following the guide. I've done all of these that I can do, Manor Mysteries. I'm still waiting to do that one because I have to go into New York to do that one. And these are just, obviously they haven't opened up yet. I've done everything that's been opened up to me. These are all missions that you do for the people that are living on the homestead. I think I finished Godfrey and Terry. I have finished Warren and Prudence. I have finished Norris. I finished that one, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I pretty much done all that. It took me, like I said, it took me a little over a day and a half. It shouldn't take you that long. Just use all the tips I've kind of shared with you. If you have any questions at all, please put them in the comments or send me a private message, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions as best I can. But that pretty much wraps up sequence 8, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry it took so long to come out, but it was a lot of work, and I wanted to make sure that I gave it its due attention that it deserved, and to make sure that you all knew exactly what I was doing. So I appreciate you watching and waiting and being patient, and I will see you all in sequence 8.1. You guys be good.